a lot of terrible stuff, edgy stuff, that happened. And he feels he's grown as a person, and ultimately a lot of the stuff that he made was potentially harmful and toxic and negatively impacted the lives of other people that he didn't realize at the time. And so he felt it necessary to apologize. Me talking about that, I don't want to debate whether he should have apologized or not. It's ultimately his business, his content, and those he affected negatively, it's up to them to accept that apology or not. I largely skipped over all of that happening because it didn't super impact me. I remember, I think, coming on stream and being like, I'm surprised so many people are angry at iDubbbz as apology. Like, it had tens of thousands of dislikes, which didn't make sense to me. I thought it was a fine apology, but whatever. Not the issue. So what this video is about is Charlie came out and said he disagreed that iDubbbz had to apologize. He said, and he ultimately just disagreed with the apology, and he got a lot of flack for doing so. A lot of people were very angry at Charlie's take, and that's what this video is about from D'Angelo, explaining why they don't think Charlie's video was very good. But there were a handful of points in the video that they said some things that resonated with me or have some impacts I'm so tired. So why am I bringing all this up? In D'Angelo's video, they said a handful of things that I just want to comment on, give my thoughts on, and how they relate to me and my work. Okay. So this is the very first part.
Because at first glance, this actually seems kind of convoluted. The internet. And together, we're here to talk about Penguin0 and iDubbbz. Now, hear me out, because at first glance, this actually seems kind of convoluted, right? Like, I'm reacting to this huge YouTuber named Penguin0, aka Charlie, who just put out 2 videos reacting to this huge YouTuber named iDubbbz, aka Ian, who just put out 1 video apologizing for a series of videos called Content Cop, in which he reacted to a whole bunch of other YouTubers. But don't worry, because I'm gonna break it all down one thing at a time, and by the end,
I'm so fucking tired. So listening to this, it highlighted to me that it's more widespread, people's use of the word react to simply mean anyone talking about anyone else's content or using anyone else's content in any capacity. It's all reactions. As in, if you watch a video in a live stream, pause occasionally, giving your off-the-cuff remarks as you go, that is equally a reaction as is spending 6 months doing an in-depth journalistic investigation into the history of a creator and making a video about them and their content and their history. Both those would be called reactions to some people. And honestly, I don't think it's an incorrect usage of the word in general, more than I think it's not very useful for the context of online digital media. Because obviously there's a huge difference between those two things, and referring to them both as reactions, I think is a bit strange. But it does highlight that Gabby's misunderstanding of my work and believing that I was criticizing commentary channels when I was talking about reactors is that viewpoint is maybe more widespread than I realized, right? Although, again, this isn't a defense of Gabby, because in my work, I clearly defined that I wasn't talking about commentary channels. However, without any sort of context of my words, if I say reactors in the future, there will be some people, apparently, who will consider me to be talking about people who make commentary content. Now being more aware of this, in the future, I will try to be more specific. I will talk about blind reactors or people who give their first impressions as opposed to just talking about reactors in general. It's going to make it a bit more muddy to speak in general, but being more aware of how React is being used in the current ecosystem of YouTube, like, I'd be a fool not to take that into account with my words, you know? What's the next one? This one. Yeah, okay.
going forward, and maybe he's happier with the new audience that he...
Whoever's editing this, I hope you realize that I can't put the exact frame that I'm talking about, so please cut irrelevant stuff.
Potentially cultivates through all of it.
So yeah, that was Charlie's first video on the iDubbbz situation, which actually currently has more views than iDubbbz's actual apology, meaning that for many people, Charlie was the first and last word on the situation. Despite Charlie's misrepresentation of iDubbbz's position, his minimization of the harmful effects that iDubbbz's content had, and his bizarre insistence to reject an apology that was not offered to him.
So when I had my little drama with Charlie all the way back then, people found it weird that I objected to the idea that he would take my unfinished script for my video and then make a video on that to millions of people. People said things like, oh, well, you've put that out publicly now. He has every right to do that. I still, and will argue to the day I die, that I don't think that was something that was entirely justified, given the level of attention that it had. He presented it as if it was like the news of the day that everyone was talking about, as opposed to what it really was, which was something that maybe like 100 people read. And the reason why it was very frustrating was because rather than me being an agent communicating my thoughts, my beliefs to the world, ultimately Charlie said, no, fuck you. That's my job now. Your words are what I want them to be. I am now your representative, fucking deal with it. In the same way that iDubbbz's video had less views than Charlie's response to it, that was a difference of like 1 million views. The difference of the amount of people who read my words to watch Charlie's video is a difference of like 100 to like 2 million. It was extraordinarily frustrating. It just felt like it didn't matter what I said or did, that my beliefs, who I am, is ultimately just going to be dictated by Charlie, regardless, right? An extraordinarily frustrating situation, and something that made me extraordinarily mad because I knew there was nothing that I could do to change it. And I just think that Charlie, still to this day, despite apologizing back then in a very vague way and still doubling down on a lot of stuff, but whatever, he hasn't learned that he does this. He hasn't learned that he makes himself this way when he talks about stuff. It's just an overwhelming sense of powerlessness when someone else believes that they can talk for you. My biggest issues always being with Charlie's first video is that if he had to talk about my words, that he didn't represent them or show them fairly in any capacity. That an essay that takes like half an hour to read was bastardized in a video that was 20 minutes long, you know? That it never really mattered what I said or did. It was ultimately just whatever Charlie wanted that to be was, and still feels so awful, you know? But as I was saying, Charlie got a lot of flack for his video. And when he got criticized a lot, one of the first things he said about it was this, which, just listen.
People have done some very uncharitable interpretations of what I've been saying, and I guess I can't really blame them. If I'm not abundantly clear with where I stand on things, I've learned that everything gets lost with ambiguity, and people run with the absolute most negative narrative they can find in the wildest ways to misconstrue some statements.
Kind of like what you did with Ian's video, but the craziest part...
Not even just what he did with Ian's video, but what he did with me and my words. I don't believe in karma, but like, him feeling as though this happened to him is, to me, what karma would be, right? He is ultimately getting his just desserts, even if it was in such a smaller way than what happened with me. Because ultimately, Charlie has a bigger platform and a bigger voice, and therefore can drown out any sort of criticism that he receives. And he will just, of course, move on to the next thing and not suffer for it. Where I, because of being in a negative situation with Moist Critical, anyone who wants to maintain a positive relationship with Charlie, who is much larger, will obviously be less willing to engage with me in a positive way. Charlie has and will continue, seemingly forever, be in such a huge position of power and just be blissfully unaware of that, or at the very least be entirely indifferent to the way that his words and how he can use his platform can negatively impact others. All seemingly because of his desire to throw out as many videos as possible. But what surprised me from there was one last point said by D'Angelo that surprised me though.
However, I do want to make one thing really, really abundantly clear. I don't think that this was some sort of like dark plan by Charlie to purposely mislead or misconstrue anything. I honestly just think it's just he makes so many videos, dude. The man has uploaded like 12 or 13 videos since this iDub situation, and it literally happened like barely a week ago. All this to say, there's no way this could have been some dark plan, because I don't even think Charlie plans out his videos that hard. And usually that is actually really a benefit to the content. That's pretty much why I enjoy watching him. He's like one of the few people on the platform who doesn't have to write a really long script just to be coherent. And I usually think that really highlights Charlie's best qualities. But in a situation that definitely did involve more nuance than he gave it, I think it backfired on him, and that's sort of just, it happens. Anyway, I'm gonna leave.
I don't know why a person would compliment someone for not putting effort into their content. To not slowing down, taking the time and care to research, to pick their topics wisely, to think of innovative new ideas and edit stuff. Why is this, I don't, the statement here is Charlie's strength is when he thinks about his content the least and puts in the least effort. Why? Why would that be the case? The statement here is the lazier Charlie's content, the better it is. Like, in this particular context, D'Angelo was impacted by Charlie's indifference, his haste, his lack of care about the impact of his words, and therefore has taken notice of it. But this happens all the time. Charlie does this all the time. But until it impacts you, it's like, who cares? You know? And that's what this comes across as. I think his content is really great when I personally don't realize how bad it is and it's not impacting me negatively. Did you see the Nick is not green and super mega drama that happened? No, Kig, what's that? What is super mega? Yeah, I have Lo, yeah. Mr. Riddle from way back when. So that was basically all my thoughts on that, without going deep into the iDub stuff because it's not particularly relevant to me. But I found this statement funny. Speaking of Charlie, that was the one time he tried to have an opinion on something controversial, where the opinion you're allowed to have publicly and opinion everyone actually has differed greatly. As you can see, the results weren't great. It is certainly very profitable to be at the top and simply try to act as a mirror for the common sentiment on every topic. It'll be interesting to know what Charlie actually thinks of a lot of the topics that he speaks on, or what beliefs he has in regards to topics that he does not speak on. And certainly in the case with me, the reason why he got kind of fucked up a bit was because there was no common sentiment, because no one fucking cared about my essay. The one time he tried to go off on his own and say something himself, he was way off the mark. And I don't think that's a coincidence, you know. Thank you, Pikeys. I'm so tired, I shouldn't have talked about this. Hope I was somewhat coherent. Keeg, what's that story? Well, guess I'll never know. My blind spot. It happened a while ago, Mr. Clark. Yeah, Crystal.
Hope you have a good day. Hope you have a good day.
The other day on stream you asked where your YouTube is at with Isaac and you just finished challenge 22, the speed challenge, if you hadn't looked yet.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, $3. 6 Dizza. Thank you both for the primes. Thank you, 8-Bit for 245. Man, I shouldn't have streamed again. My message is not going through, what the fuck? Weird. Will I shave again? I shave, I trim quite a bit.
Hell yeah.
Have a good day, Matto.
Well, too late, I guess, Kig. I will see you guys later. Charlie is held in high regard for creating the people he reacts to, and his content has less reaction. He never credited people that he reacted to. If he started doing that, it's a thing he's only started to do within the last year. Bye bye.
PP hop. Quarter stream. Perfect timing. Viper happy.
It's a garage sale with dedicated business hours and refunds. I mean, try and get your money back for this birdcage.
People that are doing Christmas, Merry Christmas, even though it's probably going to be definitely an odd one this year, just like everything. But we're going to be jumping in here with Muppet. I sent a squad stream with him, so I think he still has to accept it. Nope, I think he did. Yes, no, he did. So if you want to check that out, you can check out both sides to the whole thing. I'm going to go 10A to the cat here. Nice Cyberpunk video. I appreciate that. I'm enjoying that game a lot. Like, a lot of people are dissing on it because of the bugs and stuff, but every time I play for like the hour and a half that I end up playing to make an episode, I only run into like one or two things that are odd that kind of make me laugh, but I can still continue to play the game no problem. I haven't played it enough probably to run into all this stuff, but it's not fucked up or anything, so I don't know. People are dissing on it though, and it's like, all right, well, gotta love it. I'm enjoying it. As long as people enjoy it, that's all that matters, right? And then for the people that are getting glitches that sucks, hopefully they send out a patch, because I heard it's bad. You alive over there?
Hey, bro.
Up,
Yeah,
bro?
I'm alive.
All right.
Are you alive?
I'm alive. You ready to roll?
Can you shout?
Can you hear me?
Are you shouting?
I'm shouting.
You don't sound like you're shouting.
I'm shouting.
Okay, actually, you're fine. You're good.
This is me whispering. This is me second whispering. This is me shouting.
Yeah, it sounds good now.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna go get gas.
I'm gonna follow you going to get gas.
Sick.
I'm not gonna leave your side. I'm like Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
You're like Baby Yoda, and I'm the Mandalorian.
I have no idea what the fuck you just said, but all right.
How dare you?
Sick. Sounds good. Cat size fixed? It is. Does it look fixed, or do you think you're going insane? I'm curious to know what the answer is here. I didn't think I would need to clarify it once it actually got fixed, but I guess I'm wrong. Oh, maybe he didn't. Did you accept the squad stream that I sent?
I did.
Okay, they're saying it's not working.
Well,
But it might just be connecting or whatever.
They might need a refresh or whatever. You know? You have your hazards on. I also realize I have my default sirens in.
Oh, that's. I'm so sorry for everyone that has to watch that. I got my LAPD siren.
Oh yeah, that's.
Yeah, I'll throw on my custom plate. Is it bad? Is it bad?
It's you know, it's not bad for me, but I know it's bad for the
For everyone
people
else.
who are watching me.
Okay. 2. All right, it went quiet there for a second. All right, we're good. We'll see what we can do today. Oh, I don't have my 10 codes open. Let me just get those so I can see when they start.